Hi guys. So in this video we will be discussing indentation and what are conditional statements. So conditional statements basically mean if-else conditions. But first of all, what are if-else conditions really used for? So if-else conditions are used when you have some condition and on the basis of that condition we have a particular output, and if the condition fails we have an alternative output. So for better understanding I'll give you an example. Like if you are given a number, for example 20, and you are supposed to tell whether this is an even number or an odd number. Alright, so what you can do for that in Python is you can check whether the remainder when the given number divided by 2 is equal to 0 or not. Okay, so if 20 is divided by 2, then obviously it will give remainder as 0. And if any number is divisible by 2, it is automatically an even number. And if it is not divisible by 2 and gives some remainder, then automatically it is an odd number. So similarly, we can implement such conditions using the conditional statements, which are if-else conditions. Alright, so let's see the syntax for the same. So in Python, first of all, we need to write if keyword, then a colon symbol, which is these two dots, and in between them we write some condition. Okay, and if the condition becomes true, then we write some statements which need to be executed if the condition is true. And for example, the condition is false, then we write another set of statements which are basically the alternate. So that's the whole syntax of the if-else condition. Now, what will be the workflow of this? Like, how will this work in Python? So, first of all, this condition is checked. If this condition is true, then all these statements will be printed or executed basically, and the else block will not work at all. But what if the condition is false? In that case, if the condition is false, then all the statements that are present in the if block, they will not be executed. Okay, and every statement that is present in the else block, they all will be executed. So that's the basic workflow of the if else conditions in Python. But how does Python know which statement comes under the if block and which statement comes under the else block? So for that purpose, indentation is used. Now, what is indentation? So, as you can see, when I write statements here, there is some space in front of them. Okay, so if there is some space, it will basically mean that all these statements, all these three statements are present in the if condition block. Okay, but in the next line I have written else, which is not indented. So basically this means that the if block ends here. Okay, it basically ends here, and statements, this statement 3, let's say this is the last line which is part of the if block, and after that else block starts. So again, whichever statement is within the indentation of the else block, they all are considered to be the part of the else block. All right, so all these statements are part of the else block, but if I had written some print statement here, for example, then that wouldn't be considered as part of the else block because it is unindented. But if it was like this, then this also would have been considered as part of else block. So we have seen the syntax and how this works, but let's implement the condition which we earlier mentioned, that was to check if the given number is even or odd. So let's assume that n is equal to 20 and this is the number we want to check for. So we write if keyword and a colon symbol, and in between them I write some condition. So I will write if n modulus 2 equal to 0. So if we carefully examine this condition, what does it really mean? So first of all, it means to check when n is divided by 2, what is the remainder? Okay, so this much highlighted part, this represents the remainder, and I am then checking whether this remainder is equal to 0 or not. Okay, if the remainder is equal to 0, then this condition will become true, and for that we want to print even number. But what if this condition is false? Then we will start the else block and print odd number. So if we run this now, this should give us even number as the answer, as you can see. And if we write some big number which is an odd number, then this will give us odd number. So again, how is this working? So this number right here, this will be divided by 2 and its remainder will be checked. If the remainder is equal to 0, then this statement will be executed, which is the print statement. If this is false, then this will not be executed and else block will execute it. So that's how this is working, and I hope this was clear for you guys. In the next video, we will also see elif statement and nested if else statements. So stay tuned, and I hope you like this video and subscribe the channel for more such good tutorials as well as application based videos in Python, as well as various programming tips and self-branding tips as well. Thanks for watching, guys.